You're watching Teng Tools Muscle Garage, the home of New Zealand's toughest muscle cars, hot rods and street machines. Muscle Garage is proudly brought to you by Teng Tools in association with Mount Shop, Maguire's and Niedercar. Coming up, Kiwi Carnage. We meet the Burnout crew flying our flag on Aussie soil. And we drop by Pukekohe Hot Rod Club's 5th Hot Rod and Horsepower Show. But first up, the good folk at Maguire's send us to Auckland to check out one very tough street-driven Camaro.
So 1969 Chevy Camaro was built approximately 10-11 years ago by Greg Pepper. He built it in his garage, pretty much as a street car and drag car. He sold it to Darren Saunders, and Darren was the one who actually took it down the track and took it to its potential, essentially. He had a couple of gnarly incidents where it could have gone horribly wrong. So he then converted it to a street car, essentially, and reconfigured the engine, made it a bit more mellow.
Mellow is a relative term. Sure, the car might not be the same 8-second animal of years gone by, but over 500 horses of street-driven 454 big block, aided by a 671 supercharger proudly protruding from the hood, was just the ticket for Dan, a man with a Gen 1 Camaro itch just waiting to be scratched.
Yeah, it's always been my dream car. I saw it first on Facebook for sale, and I'd known of the car beforehand. I'd seen it drag years ago, and essentially it was sold after 3 days of him advertising it. I went and saw it, and it was paid for that night. I love the shape, always have. The first generations sort of appealed to me more. They're just one-offs. You can't buy this in a showroom. You'd never see it in a car yard. You know, there's a lot of love being put into it. I love the fact that you can pull up and there's a late model car beside you. Yeah, sure, his might cost a bit more, or people might like that one, but there are a lot more of those on the road, you know, compared to this one here, which is a one-off.
You won't need your local rocket scientist to tell you this car is a long way from GM's stock offering. While it sure would look right at home, pointed south on Meremere Dragway start line, the 69 is not an unfamiliar sight on the Auckland City blacktop. However, with all that motor and steamroller rear treads, some manhandling is required.
It's fully tubbed. The wheel size is 31 by 18s. A funny setup in the back if you're not used to it. There's a lot of air in the tyre. It's low pressure but a lot of air, so it feels like a little bit of a trampoline. She wobbles like a duck sort of thing in the back, so you just got to get used to that. She's pretty much as big as what you can fit underneath there. Running about 540 horsepower at the wheels. It could be turned up as such a supercharger, and it could be boosted a lot more. But I wanted a street car. Yeah, so it's actually classified first as a drag car that's allowed on the street. It's all ticked, has to be ticked every year, so it has to be ticked just like a drag car. So you need that to get essentially your warrant of fitness and your registration on the road.
And while that WAF sticker on the window is here to stay, things are about to get a bit more serious. Dan's keen to see the Camaro return to the strip, but if he's going to go to the trouble, he might as well do it with a few more cubes. Oh, and say double the horsepower.
We have got goals set up for it. Bruce Cox, the previous owner's keen to help me out to race it, get it down the strip. We're currently building 509 Donovan engine, supercharged engine for it. So that's the goal, is sort of be competitive down there. But this one has been set up already. It wouldn't be competitive at the moment on the strip, sort of in its class, but we're hoping to change it with the new engine.
super sedan bracket, or just plain old street use, the Camaro is every bit still the dream car. A welcome distraction from the day-to-day.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely stop thinking about anything else when you're driving it, mainly because you got to concentrate on what you're doing. But yeah, it is. I find it relaxing, always have. Just jumping in the car and just going for a spin, and it makes me forget about work and yeah, get into the groove and just see the reaction on people's faces when you might pull up somewhere. I genuinely just love it. Yeah.
And thanks to Maguire's, your ride can look sharp too. Stay tuned to find out how you can win big a little later in the show. Okay, thanks to our mates at Need a Car, it's time to stop by the Hot Rod and Horsepower show in Pukekohe.
I'm Trevor Williams, president of the Pukekohe Hot Rod Club, and this weekend we're having our 5th Hot Rod and Horsepower show at the Indian Hall in Pukekohe. No, it's not about making money, it's about getting the cars out there and getting people to see what we do in our spare time. Have a look around and you will see the passion that is hot rodding and drag racing. These guys live and love what they do, and that's what the show's about, promoting these guys to the public and the public to see what we do and hopefully attract some in.
You can't help it. It is very addictive because we all enjoy what we all have here. It's something that everybody has the same joy and passion of cars and the old cars and something to do with cars, whether it's racing or whether it's a muscle car or whether it's a classic car. We're all different, but we're all from the same pod.
And while the name Hot Rod and Horsepower covers a fair old range as seen here, these cars have one big thing in common. With just a couple of exceptions, these are all club cars.
Yeah, 1964 we were joined NZHRA. Yeah, we've been around a while. We've got a strong membership, currently 160 members. All the cars in here are club cars. 1 or 2 invited guests, but pretty much the 5th show and another lot of cars, not too many double ups in here. So club's very strong at the moment.
So to be able to do that from just a club is a fantastic thing to be able to do. Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. It just shows the amount of machinery that's out there, and of course the Pukekohe Hot Rod Club's really known for drag racing, but it's nice to see they have a lot of classic cars and other bits and pieces to go along with it as well. So yeah, it's a neat club, and it's very well represented, well over 100 members.
With the club's history intertwined with the construction and ongoing operation of Meri Meri Dragway, there were always going to be some serious-looking drag machines on show. But even the street stuff isn't what you'd call docile. Take Club Pres Trevor's 32 Coupe.
Took me 4 years to build. It's run a big block Chev, which some people have a bit of a problem with in a Ford, but hey, it fits and it does the job. The body was supplied by GMT, fiberglass car, so that upsets some people, I guess, but hey, if they're available, you use them. Yeah, we just get out and enjoy it. It's hot rodding.
59 Chevy Biscayne. It's running a 283 standard motor. We put headers on it and disc brakes and a few other things just to smarten it up. And it came in about 10 years ago from Oregon. And we've redone the upholstery and all sorts and tidied it up, and what you see is what you got.
Lurking outside was Kevin's Galaxy, an indoor display car previously, so this time opting for preferential parking rather than all-out polishing.
It's a 1962 Ford Galaxy 500. It's running a 352 FE, just the original motor. We've had it about 5 years now. It was brought in from California from a gentleman and then sold to another guy up in Auckland who I purchased it for five years ago. He did the paint job and put the wheels on it, and everything I've done since then is mechanical and electrics and such likes.
Club Pres Trevor mentioned a few invited guests, and here's a couple of them, starting with Pukekohe local Neil Roper and his old-school 34 Coupe.
The car is a 1934 Ford 3-window coupe. It's running a big block Ford, a 429 Thunderjet engine. It's got a 9-inch limited slip diff in it, C6 auto, disc brakes all around, and HQ steering. I got the body in 1971 when I was a 17-year-old boy, and collected for many years all the missing bits and pieces because you couldn't buy much repo stuff back then, and got it on the road in '79. I've always liked them since I was a little kid. I remember seeing all the bodgies cruise around in the western suburbs of Auckland when I was young, and quite inspired by it. So, and a lot of them did have the old star fires and white walls, so that's the sort of look I wanted.
Every car here is someone's pride and joy, and for Kelly, that's no different. But she enjoys a connection with her car that's perhaps even that little bit more special.
This is my baby. She's a Plymouth Fury, 1966 Plymouth Fury. She runs a 383 V8 Commando. I was there to help out in different organisations that like hospice. That's pretty much what I love to do. I like to go around and help people. That's why, being the pink ribbon Plymouth, I had cancer 2 years ago. So she's there for everybody's enjoyment and as much as mine, to display her and show what people that we have here. That's absolute enjoyment. People here have a passion for the cars. It's not all about the money, it's about having something they really, really enjoy. And, you know, I'm getting my garage sorted out. Of course, we all have to have our shed to have our cars in and be there to enjoy them. Plymouth, well, it's quite funny because we think we know what we want until I actually found her. She's 66, of course, which is a good year. It was a connection, and I think that's what everybody has with their cars. There is a connection. You have to have a connection. It's like anything.
You're back with Teng Tools Muscle Garage, proudly brought to you by Teng Tools, in association with Mount Shop, Maguire's and Niedercar. The Street Rod Nationals make up part of the New Zealand Hot Rod Association's annual event lineup, and this year saw the event hosted by the Palmerston North Hot Rod Club. A 4-day affair for most over Labour weekend, the real action took place over Saturday and Sunday. Saturday was the day for driving, with locations and activities prepared around the Manawatu, including a loop of Manfield, while Sunday was all about putting on a show in Palmerston North's Town Square, where a gusty forecast thankfully wasn't joined by rain. Great, because the public came out in droves. And make sure you tune in to Teng Tools Muscle Garage next week for full coverage. Right, thanks to our mates at Mount Shop, it's time to meet up with the ladies and gentlemen of Kiwi Carnage as they prepare to take the burnout battle to the Aussies.
Kiwi Carnage is a group of people representing New Zealand in the Australian burnout scene, basically. This is our second time round. Let's all go.
Like-minded people that have gathered together to represent the country and a sport that we love.
It's a motorsport team, the motorsport being burnouts. I'm not going to say of New Zealand's best because that would be very arrogant, but we're just a team who have been in the sport for long enough to know the ins and outs, who are going over to represent the country in a sport that is hugely dominated by the Australians.
While the team dynamic might still be pretty fresh, first banding together to fly the Kiwi flag across the Tasman at 2016's Tread Cemetery in Summernats, it's fair to say they're not exactly newbies in this game.
Burnouts started for me with a little bit of peer pressure from my mates to do a skid. It's just taken off from there.
I don't know, we're going back 20 odd years maybe from the old turbo jappers to start with. I don't know, I think I've always just been a bit of a hoon at heart. The old man was into his cars and stuff as well, so it just sort of travels down from there.
It's not a motorbike, theoretically I can't get hurt. I don't know, it's addictive. I don't know. I don't know why, but it's addictive.
Drag racers do it, don't they, when they start their race. Circuit racers do it when they win their race. It just goes to show you everybody wants to do it, and I'm lucky enough to be able to do it.
It's mechanical mayhem, really. A lot of people don't realise how tough it is, not just the driving aspect, but keeping the car together. A lot of people like seeing those cars sort of right on the limit and pushing it close to the walls or to the rev limit or over the rev limit or whatever.
It's hard to explain. You've just got to jump behind the wheel, and once you hit the gas pedal, you forget about everything else, your day-to-day life and needing to go to work on Monday. It's all just forgotten about almost, and you can't explain it to the normal person. They don't understand it. Yeah, they just think you're a hoon.
The tools of the trade? Liz and Ryan's Evil 69 Camaro runs a 358 cube small block Chev with a 671 blower. Arnie's lowlife is a chopped XC Falcon Ute running a 410 cubic inch Gertie small block sourced from a sprint car. Sambo's RX-7 ditches the factory rotary for cubes, a blown LS1 to be exact. While Braden's Haunt You wagon sadly won't make the boat ride this time, it's blown an injected 468 cube big block in need of an overhaul, he'll be piloting an LS-powered Land Cruiser dubbed Farm Hack instead. While many of us may never get the chance to take a spin behind the wheel, it's a sport undoubtedly on the up. With successful annual events around the country now joined by the New Zealand Burnout Championship Series, not to mention the many shows such as Muscle Car Madness, Autofest or Father's Day Drags, where the event boasts a burnout element within its lineup. The sport is gaining momentum and competitors are evolving with it.
Burnouts have stepped up quite a bit. It's gone from just doing what you can on a little pad to being introduced to being able to do a tip-in, which is still a little bit new to me. But yeah, we're getting there. The more we go to Australia, the more you see how really good guys can do it, and yeah, it just makes you want to be better.
And while NZBC's visitors Lynchy and Mad Sam sure gave us a taste of what the Aussie scene is all about, there's nothing that quite compares to the real deal. Kiwi Carnage's last trip proved an adventure into a brave new world, but the crew did us proud, placing 6th in the Tread Cemetery team event and wowing the massive crowds at Summer Nats 30. Impressive considering the hundreds of competitors.
Wow. It's welcome to Australia burnout scene. It's a serious situation. We think it's a lifestyle and something to do every 4th or 5th weekend. Every weekend they're busy, they're operating. Without being rude to New Zealanders, we're probably 5-10 years behind the scene due to population. The Australian scene is as well. Me personally, last time went there with reasonably high expectations and left with my tail between my legs. This time we're going back and yeah, we've got the guns out and we're ready to go.
Anybody can do a burnout, anyone can pop a skid on the street, they can do it at the illegal drags, they can do it on a competition pad, but doing it in front of 100,000 people is a whole new ball game.
There's a lot more goes into it than what people think. It's not just the driver ability or their skill, sitting on that start line and not choking or even being able to get into the car to go in front of all those people and do the job. That's the difficult part.
A tall ask, sure, but history would tell us we're not a nation that shies away from a challenge.
Everybody likes the underdog, everyone prefers to back the underdog, don't they? So I think that gives us a little bit more of a welcoming factor from them, and I think it also gets more people on our side, backing us, supporting us. It's not a matter of feeling the pressure, it's just a matter of wanting to go do the country proud and finish, because you've got to finish. And that I think is where it's all about, yeah.
This time we're going for gold. If it breaks, we'll fix it. We will not be going there to hold back.
And while New Zealand burnout pads have seen the Kiwi Carnage crew members battle it out head-to-head in the past, the camaraderie of underdogs teaming up to take on the might of Australia's best is clearly evident. Kind of like New Zealand's burnout Avengers.
Everyone's their own unique little character. I mean, as a unit, yeah, we're all pretty good mates, I think, so you've got to be close as a group of mates, I think, to be able to make it work.
In New Zealand, you go to a burnout comp and you compete. In Australia, we go there to compete as a team. So if one of us breaks, the rest will help out. It's just, we're all in the same boat. Yeah, there's plenty of team and carnage, yeah.
Every week, we're giving our viewers the chance to win a Teng Tools and Maguire's gift pack worth $250. Simply go to themotorhood.com and follow the Teng Tools Muscle Garage link. Plus, by entering our weekly draws, at the end of the series, one lucky viewer will win a Teng Tools 460-piece automotive toolkit, a complete Maguire's car care pack, and a $500 Mount Shop voucher. The total value of this grand prize is almost $5,000. Good luck, everyone. Teng Tools Muscle Garage was proudly brought to you by Teng Tools. Get organised. Mount Shop, undercar specialists. Maguire's, people who love cars love Maguire's. And Need a Car, the easy way to research and buy cars online.